Hey, this video contains spoilers for Security Breach, obviously. So 2020 delivered us a lot of amazing products. Okay, it gave us some amazing products. Security Breach is kind of a middle ground. It isn't bad, but it isn't anything extraordinary. So I'll get right into the criticisms out of the way, get them out of the way first. The game's alright. I mean, it's not like the story's bad. Okay, well, it's not like the game is literally the buggiest, glitchiest, and laggiest thing I've ever played. Okay, well, it's not like it's so buggy that you can literally glitch through the whole map and beat the game in less than 5 minutes. Okay, well, it's not like the FNAF 6 location is still completely intact for some reason and all the previous animatronics are still inexplicably there, and the Pizzaplex is built on top of it for unexplained reason. Okay, well, it's not like Vanny and Afton are barely in the game despite being teased as the main villains. Okay, well, it's not like Afton's return is completely unexplained and then he just dies again 10 seconds later in the same fucking way he already died twice, like it's not even an inconvenience. Okay, well, it's not like— Yeah, I won't lie, this game kind of makes me mad. But all my criticisms are out of the way now, so let's get to the positives. The gameplay, aesthetic, and most of the characters are truly stellar and out of this world. The visuals are great sometimes too. Sometimes. And of course, as you would all expect, we love the big bear father figure daddy that everyone and their mother is currently simming for right now, including me. He is the perfect little fellow. Or big fellow, you know what I mean. Anyways, I'm not the only one who has said all these controversial opinions on Security Breach. It has received mixed reviews from fans. As I said, it received praise for its free roam game style and mechanics, but it's very buggy and lacking in terms of story. Security Breach feels a lot like a puzzle that was almost completed, but it's like missing a lot of pieces. It had the potential to be one of perhaps the best FNAF games, but it needs some work. So today I'll be showing you 2 ways how I would have made Security Breach to make it better. So I would leave like 75% of the game the same because it's a good game that just needs a lot of work. A big thing would be that I would make the map much smaller so that the game is way less buggy and has less to load, because that's a big problem. I'd also have significantly less staff bots, only like a few extra endos, because those things are always running, I think, for some reason, and it just makes the game so much buggier. Anyways, most of the main storyline will stay the same. Glamrock Freddy helps Gregory try to escape the pizzeria, the other animatronics are after them, etc. However, I would add in a bunch of cutscenes, some showing Gregory and Freddy interacting, but most of them would feature Vanny. She'd be reluctantly following Glitchtrap's orders, and we would actually be able to hear William talking to her. So starting from the beginning, everything's the same. Gregory completes all the tasks up until the part where he escapes through the office vent. At that point, we would see a cutscene. The cutscene would show Vanessa in her Fazerblast hideout injecting a special syringe designed by Afton into her neck. A strange glowing hot orange, magenta, purple liquid would come out from Vanny and would fill the syringe. It would be Afton's consciousness, soul, and remnant. Vanessa would then inject the syringe into something kept inside a charging station. We would then see Vanessa activate the charging station. Dark purple smoke would fill it up and 2 glowing purple eyes would shine through the window, teasing the obvious. Things would go the same up until the end of the first parts and service level. At this point, we'd get another cutscene, which would show the charred remains of Afton and his suit emerging from the charging station. He would walk out from the station, shriveled and weak, missing both arms, half his torso would be missing, mainly just an endoskeleton, barely able to walk, very weak but living. Vanessa would sit him down and he would speak.
"Well done, my dear, but our work is not finished yet. Find the boy, and find the others. Bring them to me."
And then everything would continue the same for the rest of the game, but we would get much more involvement regarding Vanny. She would attack much more, being more involved in capturing Gregory, and then after completing all the Glamrock boss fights, we would later get a cutscene of Vanessa showing up and collecting the now destroyed animatronic parts. Later we would see her using those parts to repair and strengthen the damaged and weak Afton, turning him into this new thing called Glamtrap, which I designed, which is essentially just Afton, but repaired with the Glamrock parts, so he looks really cool. Anyways, as Gregory and Freddy make their way to the exit, Afton would finally rise. He and Vanny would then hunt for Gregory and Glamrock Freddy. While hiding, Freddy would see Glamtrap, and upon seeing him, he would have an awakening, sort of. He would remember who he is, a new cutscene would happen, and he would suddenly remember the things he had forgotten. Glamrock Freddy would then be revealed to be possessed by Michael Afton. The cutscene would show the flashbacks to the Bite of 83, his guilt, all the Fazbear locations, his journey, and the fire. He would speak.
"I remember now. I know who I am. I know what this is. They built it on top of the rubble. They built it on top of our charred remains. It didn't end. Why did they do it? How many innocents will they let die?"
In this scenario, there's no weird sinkhole. It's just built on the same land where the FNAF 6 location burnt down, because that makes no sense that it's still intact and just in a sinkhole. I mean, that shit was literally like fucking crashing to the floor. But you know. Anyways, at this point, Glamrock Freddy emerges from hiding. He quietly says,
"Run, Gregory."
Glamtrap and Vanessa then turn to see Glamrock Freddy walking toward them.
There he is.
Then you play as Glamrock Freddy and fight Glamtrap while Vanessa goes to try and capture Gregory. This will be the final boss fight and would take place in that main stage area. Freddy would need to fight Glamtrap fist to fist, and eventually Freddy wins. But then he hears a scream and looks up to see Vanessa gaining on Gregory. But Freddy has Afton by the neck, and would be able to finally kill him and burn him once and for all with a propane torch, which he had earlier taken from Parts and Service that I forgot to mention in the script, but he'll have a propane torch. Anyways, you then get a choice to kill Afton or save Gregory. If you choose to kill Afton, Afton grabs the blowtorch and uses it on Freddy, killing him, and Vanessa murders Gregory. The two villains escape the Pizzaplex and continue their work. If you choose to save Gregory, however, you leave Afton on the floor and you run off to take down Vanny. You knock her off the third floor balcony, and Gregory almost falls too, but you're able to grab him. Freddy and Gregory look down at Glamtrap and watch as he runs out of the security doors. The two look at each other. Freddy hugs Gregory. Freddy carries Gregory to the doors of the Pizzaplex. The two walk out. The rest is very vague, and we'll see what happens in the next game, you know? Anyways, that would have been better in my opinion. But there's also another way that would make it even better. And that's just if we completely cut Afton entirely. All the way back in VR. Keep Afton dead. He doesn't always have to come back. It's getting really annoying if I'm being honest. Just have Vanny be some copycat killer. No connection to Afton whatsoever. No weird VR virus in her head. That's really stupid, I'm going to be honest, but I was willing to just live with it because, you know, FNAF VR was awesome. Anyways, kill the Afton storyline. Let everything rest at UCN. Everything tied up perfectly for every character for that storyline. And everyone's arcs were complete. Everything made sense. Everything was perfectly ended, tied up in a nice little bow with Henry's monologue. Let it all rest. Introduce a new killer with new motives and new stakes. Make Vanessa her own interesting character. Don't connect Gregory or Freddy to anything revolving around Afton. Don't connect anything to Afton other than just like, you know, a few mentions, maybe like, oh, this is all because of Afton, or Afton started all this, or blah, 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 blah. Afton is in the past. Afton's dead. Just start fresh. That was the whole point of VR, a soft reboot. But it seems as though that reboot just wants to keep going back to the same fishing hole that it had left earlier. If I have to watch William Afton burn to death, quote-unquote, one more time, I'm gonna fucking lose it. Start fresh. Start new. In the words of that terrible, god-awful movie, let the past die. Kill it if you have to. And for the love of God, no more fucking human robot android illusion disc shit. No one wants that. Please, Scott. Anyways, thanks for watching.